Juliette burns the note. Camille pretends she just dropped by for a chat. Meanwhile, the algorithm is scrolling through 352 years of data and about to propose a solution that should chill anyone to the bone. Episode 2 of Silo Season 3 is called It's All Good. The title is a joke, because nothing here is going to be good for anyone. Let's break down what happened in the episode, what the show has already rewritten from Hugh Howey's book, and where this is all heading. The episode picks up right where the premiere left off. Juliette has just received an anonymous note and is burning it in her room. Camille, of course, isn't stupid. She can tell the mayor is hiding something and goes straight to the algorithm for advice. And here comes the episode's first, genuinely unsettling twist. The algorithm reveals that a full memory reset of an entire silo isn't some experiment or last resort. It's been done 6 times before. Silo 18 itself went through this roughly 140 years ago. Juliette is just the latest outlier who refuses to forget. Because of this, her medication is doubled and Deputy Jerry is assigned to shadow her, basically as a warden. Jerry's conscience kicks in fairly quickly, though. He tells Juliette he's sick of treating her like a prisoner and is willing to bend the rules to give her more freedom behind Camille's back. Meanwhile, the web of memory keeps slowly unraveling. An outsider's banner, a fragment of a conversation with Lucas about a constellation shaped like a W, a helmet from another silo. Juliette is piecing it together bit by bit, even if the full picture still eludes her. By the end of the episode, she stops taking her pills altogether, spits them into the sink, and gets caught almost immediately. In parallel, there's the Billings thread. Orla Kent has gone missing, and although he initially brushes it off, I saw her at the council meeting yesterday. By the end of the episode, the situation turns genuinely alarming. And separately, the Before Times storyline. Congressman Daniel Keene visits his sister Charlotte, who's dealing with the same memory problems as Juliette, but for a different reason. Not the black goo, as one might assume, but the medication she was given. Her doctor, Viktor Tsernkovich, tells Daniel outright, it's like building a drawbridge between Charlotte and her own memory. The episode's ending is genuinely ominous. We see barrels labeled Vitamin D+ being carried upstairs toward the water supply. The algorithm isn't just planning to keep Juliette under control anymore, it's preparing to reset the memory of the entire silo. Now, the actual point of these breakdowns, how much of Season 3 still has anything to do with Hugh Howey's book Shift, and whether it does at all? First and most obvious, Donald became Daniel. In the book, the congressman at the center of the entire Before Times storyline is named Donald Keene. Showrunner Graham Yost openly explained the renaming as a political decision. The name Donald is too recognizable right now and drags in unwanted associations with the sitting US president. He also admitted he simply loves Elton John's song, Daniel. Funny as that is, the show is deliberately detaching itself from the book's text for the sake of present-day relevance. Second, Helen isn't the same character at all. In the book, Helen is Donald's wife, sitting at home in Savannah while her husband gets pulled into a senator's secret project. In the show, Helen Drew is an entirely independent character, a sharp Washington journalist investigating events alongside Daniel, not waiting for him at home. This changes the actual mechanics of the Before Times storyline. Where the book gave us events only through Donald's eyes, the show now has a second, independent perspective. Third, the Anna setup is gone. In the book, Anna and Donald already share a history, and that shared past drives a good half of his arc. The season's first episode showed them as near strangers. It's still unclear whether the writers have cut this thread entirely or are simply saving it for later. Fourth, and arguably the most important structural change, Juliette's amnesia is a complete show-only invention. In Shift, Juliette barely appears at all, not until the very last page. The show went in exactly the opposite direction, making her one of the two central pillars of the season and inventing an entire memory erasure storyline that simply doesn't exist in the source material. Tellingly, Episode 2 mirrors this through Charlotte, another person, another memory loss, but for a far more mundane reason. Fifth, Senator Thurman changed genders. In the book, Senator Thurman. In the show, Rosalind Thurman, played by Laura Innes. A small detail, but it fits the season's overall pattern. The show is actively reshaping supporting characters to rebalance the power dynamics. And perhaps the biggest takeaway from these first 2 episodes, the mass reset of an entire silo that the algorithm describes, is itself a show-only expansion of the book's idea. In the source material, memory manipulation is a relatively background, localized theme. Here it becomes a centralized, centuries-old protocol for controlling society. In other words, the show isn't just changing names and roles. It's changing the very architecture of the idea Shift was built around. Here's what we now know and where it's pointing. First, Juliette's personal story is about to stop being personal. Those vitamin D+ barrels heading for the water supply mean the algorithm isn't planning to reset just one mayor. It's planning to reset 10,000 people at once. That instantly raises the stakes for the whole season. If the plan succeeds, every resident of Silo 18 is at risk. Second, the Jerry thread and the Kathleen thread, Billings' wife, tangled up with the outsiders, both suggest that the fracture inside the silo is only growing. Yost is clearly setting us up for the idea that the next spark of rebellion could come from anywhere. Third, Orla Kent's disappearance. This is the season's first genuine mystery hook, and given how carefully it's being planted, it will likely tie Billings' storyline to something much bigger than a routine disappearance. Fourth, the parallel between Juliette and Charlotte isn't just a stylistic flourish. Both threads are clearly building toward each other. Two women, centuries apart, losing their memories because of a system that insists it's doing this for their own good. That's a direct bridge to the season's core theme. What happens to a society that systematically erases its own memory in the name of stability? And finally, the most interesting part, the show's two timelines, before times and the present, are explicitly converging. The creators have already stated that the mystery of the silo's origin will be revealed exactly at the point where both timelines meet. Judging by the pace of these first 2 episodes, that point isn't far off. If you like how Silo dissects Hugh Howey's book piece by piece, subscribe. We've got a full season breakdown and a dedicated comparison with Shift coming up. Like the video if you want more of these, and see you in the next breakdown.